Stardew Valley. You know it, you love it, and I've speedran it to death for content and views at this point. Well, last year, creator of the game Concerned Ape decided to do a world tour of an orchestral performance of the game's music. We're talking Asia, Europe, America, all over the place. And as an enjoyer of the game and also a former orchestral person myself, yeah, that's me right there playing the upright bass in high school, I couldn't miss out on this. So the morning the tickets came out, I got up as early as I could, just to find that they were sold out. I was crushed, to say the least. However, in December, Soho Live, the guys who were running the tour, and Concerned Ape announced that they were going to be expanding the tour into the summer, which included my local city. This time, I was not going to miss it at all. So I stayed up late and waited until I was finally able to get one of the last 5 tickets. That's not even an exaggeration. There was literally 5 seats left. It was ridiculous. So on June 1st, I traveled to Philadelphia to go to the event. Coincidentally, a few of my friends were also in town that day, so we got to hang out during the morning, which was pretty great, actually. I definitely would have just been sitting around doing nothing had that not been the case. But around 5 o'clock at night, I decided that it was probably time for me to get ready for the show. I said goodbye to my friends and decided to take a trip down the subway, which was a big mistake. When I say I was waiting there in the subway for 2 hours for a train to move, that's not even an exaggeration. And I would have recorded it, but my phone had died because I had to wait in the subway station for 2 hours. Finally, though, at 7 o'clock, the train came and I got on it as fast as I could, which left me exactly 1 hour before the show began to get back downtown after getting dressed up and stuff. And my phone charged and everything, and needless to say, I thought I was gonna be late. I am running so late. After a quick fit check, cause come on, look at the outfit, come on. I again decided it was a great idea just to try my luck at the same subway that was 2 hours late. Again, to be fair, I did try to get an Uber, but they were also gonna be late, so it just was whatever. Thankfully though, it was surprisingly running. I was able to get downtown, and then it stopped again, 6 blocks before my station. Now I had to make a choice because it was do or die time. I had 15 minutes to get to the concert hall, which was 6 blocks away, and to find my seat and all that junk. So I said screw it and decided that was a great idea to run the rest of the way. And yet I made it with 5 minutes to spare. With my remaining time before the show started, I was able to grab a few pictures outside the little stand they had, and then I basically had to rush to find my seat because this place was massive. I mean, look at it. I was able to sit down with 2 minutes left on the clock, took a deep breath, and then the show began. Now, for obvious reasons, I couldn't record the concert because that'd kind of be scummy, but I can describe to you what exactly happened. When the lights dimmed, the orchestra began to play the song that, well, starts every story in Stardew Valley. Grandpa's theme. Sitting there in the dark, hearing the piano play those first few notes, I knew I was going to be in for a treat. After that concluded, the conductor came out and the show properly began. After introducing the musicians and thanking everyone for coming, the conductor explained how the show was going to work. It was the Festival of Seasons, so of course, 4 parts, 4 seasons. And keeping on track with things, the first was spring. To start off each quarter, the orchestra would play a melody of a bunch of different songs from that season, essentially. So we got to hear a bunch of the classic spring soundtracks, just like this one. For the spring section of the show, there was a lot of focus on obviously growing plants and stuff, and that makes sense. I mean, that's what you do in your first season of Stardew. Following the spring section was, of course, summer. I mean, that makes sense. That's how seasons work, but it was a repeat of the spring section, except now with summer melodies. They did, though, on the second half of that section, add in the Mines songs, which were surprisingly not as terrifying in an orchestra setting. I don't know, I always get kind of a little bit nervous or a little on edge when going into the mines normally, but I guess in an orchestra setting it's not as nerve-wracking for me. I don't know. They were great, honestly. I thoroughly enjoyed them. We hit the halfway point of the show, so of course it was time for the intermission. I got up, I stretched my legs, got a bit of a drink real quick. I went into the merchandise line because I needed to engage in capitalism and get myself some merchandise because I have a problem. We know this. Can you blame me though? Because like, look how much cool stuff there is to buy. I have an issue. I need help. I ended up buying a keychain and a t-shirt for the tour. And if you've seen my videos or watched my streams, I'm going to be wearing it. We came back from the break to start the next section, which was fall. Now for the fall quarter of the show, they played the saloon theme in a couple of the games. I loved hearing Journey of the Prairie Kings theme live. It was so good. Junimo cards gave me PTSD, but we don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it. And once it had concluded, we were off to winter. The melodies for winter were played, and then the conductor introduced the other half of the section. He began talking about how all the townspeople had a special place in everyone's heart, and then immediately said except for Pierre, which, yeah, he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong though. Everyone laughed, and then the orchestra began playing the NPC's themes. Now they were only allowed to play a couple themes just because, you know, time constraints. But they played my girl Abigail's theme. I was like, God, they knew. It was a huge W. Unfortunately, the end of the show was drawing near. So the conductor introduced the final piece, one that was specifically told to them by Concerned Ape himself that it had to be in the show. It was the Deep Woods. It was a great way to end the show. I gotta say, man made a good pick. We all applauded, and the conductor walked off the stage, only to come back 2 seconds later and say, actually, no, we have 2 more songs to play for you. The orchestra then finished the show by playing the theme that you get when you complete the community center, and also the night market. And the night market's theme is my favorite in the entire game, but hearing it live was something else. All in all, it was an incredible performance. I'm glad I was a little bit sleep deprived to get those tickets, I'll be real with you. I really hope they do something similar, at least to this in the future, because I would 100% go a second time. Probably even a third. Now I know I'm going to be asked what was the best part of the show, and the answer could not be any easier. You see, right before intermission, they played one last song. They talked about how it was the end of summer and things were coming to a close and the beginning of fall was right around the corner. Then the conductor brought up a certain event that happens during the end of summer, to which he asked the audience, hey, do you guys know what that is? And before he can even finish his sentence, someone from the audience shouts out, Moon Jellies! Which then, of course, the orchestra played. And, well, and just listen to it. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard this song before, but hearing it live in that moment with the entire orchestra in front of me, it was like magic. I'm so thankful that this game exists, that I was able to go and see this live, because it really was like magic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too much of a band geek or a nerd or whatever, but there was something special about it. Something special about that moment that I just, yeah.